The California mayor, governor, fire chief, and entire mainstream media conveying the California files are not telling you all the facts and details about the air quality. They need to say 2 words: get out. Let me explain. California's wildfire crisis has led to a skyrocket in particle counts of PM1 and PM2.5 pollution, posing serious health problems. The area burned annually in California has grown by 500% since the 1970s, resulting in more frequent and extensive wildfires. I have many other videos on this, so we won't cover it in this video. This video is about how this Californial polluted air will cause many sicknesses and deaths in the future. Wildfire smoke contains a complex mixture of particulate matter, especially PM1 and PM2.5, which penetrate deep into the lungs and enter the bloodstream. These particles carry various harmful substances, including polycyclic aromatic, hydrocarbons, benzene, formaldehyde, and toxic metals like lead and zinc. The health impacts of wildfire smoke exposure can be severe and wide-ranging. Short-term effects include respiratory issues, eye irritation, and headaches, while prolonged exposure has been linked to increased risks of heart attacks, strokes, and premature death. Vulnerable populations, such as children, the elderly, pregnant women, and those with pre-existing conditions, are at higher risk. Recent studies have shown wildfire smoke exposure can lead to a 70% increase in out-of-hospital cardiac arrests, with higher risks among low socioeconomic groups. As the fires consume vegetation, homes, and buildings, they release additional toxic chemicals from burning plastics, VOCs, electronics, and building materials. In addition, we have radioactive isotopes from Superfund sites, reactor leaks, and the radioactive burning of trees, soil, and debris. This creates a more hazardous mixture than typical air pollution. The contamination extends beyond air quality, affecting drinking water systems when infrastructure is damaged. Millions of gallons of fire retardant used to put out fires will also enter drinkable water, rivers, streams, ponds, lakes, and storm water, causing significant water pollution. California's future health outlook is grim. The impacts of PM2.5 pollution, 30 times smaller than human hair, are projected to escalate over the next decade. These microscopic particles pose a severe threat because they penetrate deep into the lungs and enter the bloodstream. Cardiovascular and respiratory issues, including heart disease, heart attacks, aggravated asthma, and decreased lung function, are expected to rise big time in California. Studies have shown long-term exposure to PM2.5 can increase the risk of acute myocardial infarction by 12% and ischemic heart disease mortality by over 20%. Emerging research has uncovered more troubling effects of PM2.5 exposure. Neurological disorders such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease are increasingly linked to this type of air pollution. Cognitive decline in older adults is accelerating, with PM2.5 pollution associated with an increased risk of dementia. Short-term exposure is causing a surge in hospitalizations among the elderly for conditions like septicemia, renal failure, and urinary tract infections. Gender-specific impacts are also coming to light, with studies suggesting PM2.5 exposure may lead to physical changes in women's brains, resulting in memory performance declines. The health crisis is further compounded by the increased cancer risk associated with long-term PM2.5 exposure, particularly lung cancer. Moreover, the burden of this pollution is not equally distributed, with African American and Latino Californians exposed to about 40% more PM2.5 from vehicles than white Californians, exacerbating existing health inequalities. As California continues to struggle with air quality issues, including persistent wildfire smoke, the health impacts of PM2.5 pollution are set to become a more pressing public health concern. Urgent and comprehensive measures to reduce emissions and protect vulnerable populations are needed to mitigate these escalating health risks and safeguard the future well-being of California's residents. Due to recent wildfires, PM2.5 levels and health guidelines are being significantly exceeded in California. During these events, PM2.5 concentrations in San Francisco reached an alarming 197 micrograms per cubic meter, more than 5 times higher than the EPA's 24-hour exposure guideline. The U.S. standard for 24-hour exposure, which is 35 micrograms per cubic meter, is less stringent than the World Health Organization's 26 micrograms per cubic meter guideline. Future projections indicate a concerning trend. While overall particle pollution from anthropogenic sources is expected to decline, wildfire-related PM2.5 pollution is projected to worsen, particularly in California. The mortality burden of wildfire smoke is estimated to double by the decade's end, mainly due to changing weather patterns caused by weather modification practices. The California fires will continue to permit PM2.5 exposure and continue to cause cardiovascular and respiratory diseases, cognitive decline, and increased mortality rates. My YouTube videos warned of these Californian conditions roughly 8 years ago. Now in 2025, I am warning again of the same conditions. Maybe it's time to count the losses and get out. Please like, share, and ring the bell for new videos. Below in the comments section, I will leave a few links to some of my publications.